It's Christmas time. We have a new winner on the PGA, father and son, work in the shop. Let's all do this on What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Welcome to What's in My Drawers Golf Talk. Jim McCleary here, and why is it What's in My Drawers? Club makers, that's what I get for having a touchpad. Are tremendous pack rats, and it's what's in the cabinets, and we talked about that, and it's gone around the world, thankfully, and we've had a nice, great community here. It keeps asking questions, and we talk for about an hour or so, as Mrs. McGolf keeps informing me, and boy, oh boy, does that light bright, isn't it, though? All right, well, that's what I get for being I got it tuned down, but the damn camera wouldn't take care of it. All righty, so let's get started. All right, it's Christmas time, right? We're getting down to it's the beginning of the week for getting to Christmas. That is awesome. Let's talk about what we want again. I know we did it last week, but I didn't get the question out fast enough about what we would like. Is it a golf gift, a golf trip? What is it? Is it a golf club or a golf apparel or an accessory of some sort? Doesn't have to be huge, just has to be kind of cool. All right. Again, if you guys like, subscribe on this, that way you get more of the videos they drop. And as we saw today, for any of you guys that are subscribed, that you did get notification of one that went out a day early. Damn. Went out a day early. The Vokey repair. And I really liked that video. It turned out very, very well. A little light on the swing weight, but not too bad overall. I have some more, so we're going to be posting a few extras because I'm off this whole week. So outside of here, inside the shop, I was here. And today, what we did is we had did finish some golf clubs. I actually did my first, I don't know, should I say it, lesson in a long, long time. And that was very, very well done. And did some cleanup. So yeah, we had a pretty good day. Pretty good day indeed. All righty, so we did that. Pnc, I don't even have to look at it. The social media platforms were a flutter with the second place winner. And why not, right? You got a 12-year-old and you got Tiger Woods, who's basically cobbled up from the car wreck, and they came back and shot all that stuff. The little man's got game for sure. Only be outdone by 2 strokes by the Daily crew. And honestly, the younger one is probably pulling more of the weight there than anybody else. And not to be too far behind by JT and company and the Kuchar clan. So well done to them. Well done. And that was one of the things that they did, father and son golf. So here's one from a while back, father and son golf right there. So, hey, I got my own. The other one is, we lost Nick a couple weeks back, and I haven't been showing Aaron, so there's Aaron being all dignified and old. Okay. Another thing that we changed here is that I finally updated my Navy flag. It was horrible. It was even past haze gray. Now I have my brandy spanking new, thanks to Mrs. McGolf. I got my Navy flag out there, so we're flying well. And the last bit is we're, this is one of the first times I can say we're, a week away and all the presents are bought. And we got that. There it is. So not too bad there. All right. So what went out today? Or what did we make? Well, we got one of these. Set of Hot Metal Pros. And they had the Nippon Modus Pro 120s in them. But they're regular flex, and he's a Buckeye fan, so we went with the gray and reds. Really happy with this build. When you do taper tip, you're really kind of at the mercy of the shaft, and it only fluctuated a quarter of a flex, so I was really quite happy with that. Another one is that we've got a Mizuno Club going out with a VRTX, which is one of those custom club maker only type shafts, and with the new Mizuno ST200G, right? 200G, and hitting the crud out of it, hitting the absolute crud out of it. And last fitting I did was, when they talk about you can be brand agnostic, and meaning that You know, you don't subscribe to just one company at all, right? And some of the other platforms out there would have you believe that it's better to have a mixed bag of stuff. And the mixed bag could be true, right? And very well, because not every club could certainly fit you. Well, that's not necessarily the case either. There's been plenty of times where, and this last time being one of them, where the person fit into basically all Callaway save one item, and it was the putter. And then I had another person that fit into Mizuno irons, a Callaway driver, Wilson wedges. The list goes on. So when you hear those things that are just total absolutes, they're not, right? Because we're all different and we all enjoy different things. So we've got to keep that in mind. All righty. So that's what we've got. What do we got coming up for the week? Well, it's actually going to be, unless I get some stuff popping in here, it's going to be a lot of catching up, getting other videos ready to go for the day. The other part is that we have been and are going to the PGA show. You'll hear it first here today, and and we are going. It's going to be a light attendance, I think. We're going to try and use that as getting into seeing some of the more component-y type folks, because a lot of the OEMs just won't be there, and seeing what's new. So it's going to be either one of two things. It's going to be a really interesting trip to see what the smaller manufacturers, because they're going to be there and giving it their all. Some newer, I like the new inventors. They're going to be there and they're going to be truly excited. Or it's going to be one heck of a dropout. Everybody's going to show up for about half a day and then it's done. I hope it's the first, not the second, and we'll see when we get there. And we will put out a schedule of when we're going to do live stream. Now, the last few years, what we did is we did a recap of all the day's events every day, and that tended to work out pretty decent. And we very well may do that, but when we get there, we'll let you know. All right, so let's see what we got today. Matt, he's posting early because of a Browns game. Why? Browns, really, Matt? Shot a 73, only round. Question: I want to extend a 35-inch ping putter to 38. How can this be done? Well, Matt, they do have what they call ping extension tool, or ping extensions, not ping, putter extensions. And typically because you asked that before in the last one, I typically don't like extending golf clubs past an inch and a half, and that depends on, one, what I'm extending, graphite or steel, two, what kind of club it's going in, and three, the type of the golfer. If you're a Jasper Parnevit divot taker, it gets shorter. If you're smooth and a big picker, it will get longer. It's all those kinds of things that we take into account. Now, in a putter, it doesn't have that kind of stress, so I can go a little bit longer. 3 inches wouldn't bother me so much. We just have to make sure that when you put the grip on, that nothing nasty is showing from when it was covered up. And look at that, he started early. Merry Christmas to everyone. And that's what we want, right? This whole thing of being bright here is just killing me. I have my thing set so that it looks like candlelight in the back, but you can't hardly see it because it's all friggin' bright. All right. Samson Budefeld. All right. Hopefully I said that right.
It's all right from here.
Is it? All righty. Is there any way to change swing weight without changing the overall weight of the club? I mean that if you place weights differently. Yes, there are. So in swing weighting, if you want to reduce the swing weight, without changing the overall weight. I have to think about that one. You can change a grip. If you want it to make it a little heavier, they have lighter grips. Now, again, that's going to change the overall swing weight, but it's going to push it. So swing weighting is kind of an overall, right? It's an overall play. It's a game of balance point, right? The more you put on one side, it tends to go that way. You lower this end, it still goes this way, right? And it's a balancing act. Now, without changing overall weight, you're tweaking, okay, you might have to, and it depends on how much modification you want to do. If you just stayed static and you didn't want to change anything and you want to go either way, no, it's not happening because you can't. Right? It's just that's the physical part of it. Now, if you wanted to put a lighter grip on it, it would make it more. It would give it more head weight feel. Put a heavier grip on, it gives it a lighter head weight feel. You can add a small tip weight and get you a little bit of there, but the overall weight would still be impacted. You could even change the shaft and get where you needed to go. Now, in some cases, you'll hear about in a driver shaft where it's counterbalanced, so you can you make them longer and get the right swing weight. You could do that, but I don't know too many counterbalanced iron shafts that are out there. Camilio, you're from the other side of the world in Australia. Holy cow. Okay. Well, now it's in the morning for you at least instead of the afternoon. Well done, sir. Well done. Is it nice? Well, I think since they're totally opposite, it's more summery for them right now, I think. Kurt, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Jim. Merry Christmas to you, Kurt. We'd love to have Charlie swing. To tell you what, the dude's got trained, right? The kid's got trained. He even's got the club spin down. And he knows how to talk some smack. I guess being around the pros, you tend to, you can glean by osmosis. Yeah, I like that. I like the whole thing because it was more father-sonish than it was competitive. And I know he's the big draw and I know all that stuff, but I still like to give the winner his due. I think it's just of course we're talking, John Daly and his son, they're still father and son. They still won. Their golf.com was making a big deal of those two going 15 under with a whole bunch of birdies. Daly's team did it, so, and we went through, I was showing Mrs. McGolf that, all the coverage, it had picture Tiger and Charlie, and then the Dailies, and then Tiger. Yeah, I get it. He's the guy that moves the needle and everything, and I get it. But give the winner its due, and then go heavy on the stuff. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Kent, what's going on? Matt, check swing weight, grip off for extension use of the extender. There you go. Danny, what's going on? Merry Christmas to you too, sir. Also, everyone else on the live stream. There you go. One day left before we finish Christmas, New Year's. Won't be back till the 7th. Hopefully, I get to beat Debbie while we're off. Okay. This is a I won't say busy time. It's an important time for us. Always we have Christmas, and I have one son that's in California, and another one that's about an hour north of us, and my dad lives right next door. So the whole family doesn't get next, and my sister, I have one in Wisconsin, one in Indiana. So we're spread out. So family get-togethers are far and few between, but we FaceTime and that kind of stuff makes it shorter. However, after that, the New Year's Eve is Mrs. McGolf and mine's anniversary, and so these next 2 weeks are filled with more than just New Year's Eve. Oh no, it's anniversary time too. So a little extra on that. Mike Engel, happy holidays. How about the Pnc Championship? One of my favorites. I think the coverage was really well done, to be honest with you. As far as on the TV, and if they're second place, they covered it well. I was just the social media platforms were just kind of tugged. I thought Tiger looked beat in a lot of pain at the end. That event shows how much he loves that little boy. Put himself through that. Not Tiger, but really, yeah, I'm with you, Kent. I really am. That's I think that was the right. I mean, He did. He didn't look like he was 100%. I don't think he'll ever be the old Tiger, but uh, he's got a little bit more to go before. I think it was a good test of him to see just what he's capable of, right? I don't think he came unglued or hit one really, really hard, but and you know what a way to have a crutch in Charlie, right? He, from what all I saw, he wasn't getting shooken up at all. All righty, Danny, can you explain how to pull a shaft and keep the ferrule? Well, Danny, unless it's a specialty ferrule, I typically don't because they're like 35 cents. However, you can do it by taking there's multiple ways of doing it. You can cut yourself a piece of paper towel, right? And it has to be the width of the ferrule. And when it gets to the width of the ferrule, then you get it wet and you wrap it around the ferrule 3 or 4 times, and then heat the hosel and then pull it off. That's one way. If you have the best way I've ever seen is a small piece of leather and the same width as the ferrule, get it nice and wet and again, wrap it. It tends to take the heat a lot better than the paper towel, but as a temporary gig, that works just fine. But a leather strap. Now they do make Golfworks has this thing where you have a spray on, and you spray on the ferrules, Protect Ferrule or Ferrule Protect. Anyway, you can get it from Golfworks, and you spray the ferrule with it, and it puts this coating on it that's supposed to give it a little heat resistancy. All righty. Travis Hasselman, what's going on? What are your concerns about using the BB&F ferrule in a PXG iron that requires a Carl ferrule? If you cut the collar off a regular ferrule and use with the BB, also using a graphite shaft. Okay, so the PXG iron is different than a lot of different irons out there. Your typical collared ferrule it's just a piece that big. That's the collar. On the PXG, it's much, much bigger. All right, much, much bigger. So you have to get a PXG/Ping ferrule. And I started using different terminology when I started working on Pings and PXGs, in that I called them centering ferrules. And the reason being is they really do a job. This is probably one of the very few times where ferrules are truly required, in that the hosel diameter is bigger at the top, and if you didn't put that piece in there, it would wiggle around really hard, and it would. I mean, and you really need that centering ferrule in there, because what happens is that the ferrule. Well, I don't have anything good. Anyway, when you put the shaft into the ferrule, it wobbles around. So if you have this, the upper end is really big, and that's the reason why you need that. Now, if you found yourself a PXG collared ferrule and you cut that collar off and put it in, then yeah, you could probably get away with it. And and you could probably do that. You just need something to absorb that extra space. And could you use a graphite shaft? Yeah, because the whole idea here is the whole idea of using collars with that is you don't want to create a shear point, and particularly with graphite shafts, right? And that's the reason why you put them in there. Now, it could be said that since you're putting it in there and it's not really in there, you're still creating the shear point to an extent, but as long as that is, the whole idea is here not to get it to wobble, right? As long as it's not wobbling, you're fine. Patrick, what's going on? Hello, golf people. All fit question. I use the 11.5 drill bit to drill out TaylorMade. Yahoo. And ping heads. The bit in the drill press went pretty dull pretty quick and had to take them to the mill. Okay. 11.2. Pat, it sounds like you're getting ready to put an all-fit masterpiece in there. And 11.2 is a little bit big. All right, it's a little bit big. You need to be closer to, well, around 10, 10 and a half. But anyway, drill bits, when you want to make something bigger, I'm not a fan. I'm really, really not a fan. Although in a lot of cases for this, it really was working, but I was working on soft metals like Mizunos and Strixons. Now, harder metals, which you will see in cast clubs, say some Wilsons, Callaways, that kind of thing, yeah, it'll dull it pretty fast, particularly ping, because ping is hard, right? And most TaylorMades are cast. So yeah, you're in that zone. In that particular instance, I'd be using a reamer. And that's a pretty big bite too, so I might actually step ream it just to keep it easy on me and the machines that I'm using. So, find one that's in the middle, and then the fairing. You're probably going to need one there'll be 2 millimeters difference to get you out where you need it. Darren, what's going on? I'm full of curiosity this week. Hopefully everyone's well. Okay, well, not too bad. Swing weights are all about swing weight low. Well, if you're talking about what you just reamed out, that kind of makes sense because you just took a whole bunch of weight out. Now, if you put those all fits back in there, it should replace it. My research in taking these out is that the amount I've taken out is taken up by those two couplings or the two adapter pieces almost to the exact. So I don't see it being that way. And let's see. Oh, so now that we're into this, I told Miss McGolf we were going to do this. I am going to give away, and we'll call it a thank you. I won't use a Christmas thing, but I will use it as a thank you. I've got 10 aprons, all right, 10 aprons. And I'm going to go through here and I'm going to pick 10 people, and don't care where you're from, 10 people, and we're going to send you an apron. So you're going to get either an email or something through these areas, and I'm going to send you an apron. Whether you use it to make clubs, barbecue on the grill, let the dog lay on it, that's okay. But it's just as a thank you from me and Mrs. McGolf to you guys for being on here for a long time. Matt, thank you. Getting ready for Christmas. Yes. I did the grocery shopping. Yep. Dave, what's going on from Michigan? Did you guys get snow yet? Okay. Merry Christmas, Jim and Robin, for Charles. Charles, how are you, sir? Dalmore. Stephen Lynn, thanks for copping wedges that you made. I couldn't be happier. Good deal, bud. Those turned out really well. I was happy with those. So what's happening is Stephen ended up getting some Mizuno, the denim coppers, which here have become very, very, very popular, and they've been going around like clockwork. I like the finish on these. It gives it kind of an old-timey vibe, but you still get the modern technologies and the grinds and the forging and that kind of thing. And it will patina. It'll get kind of dark and old on the outside, but the face should be okay. Matt's getting some True Viz golf balls. Good for him. Hey, if you're watching the Cleveland Browns, that means you're not going to do your martial arts thing. Yes. Financial security in today's environment, I'd go for some of that. Charles says, Merry Christmas to everybody. Kurt wants Charlie swing. I'd like to be able to get flexible and get those hands back there. Holy cow. Patrick, okay. Darren, 1.3 index fitting is unbeatable, but In your experience, do you think a heavy shaft in R-Flex is good for a smooth, unaggressive swinger who keys the feel of the club head? Could be. Typically, smooth and unaggressive swingers typically they fail to the light, Darren. Because you're smoother and you don't need all that extra weight, and it tends to weigh you down because you're smoother. The aggressive guys whack whack, right, and the heavier one allows them to track. Traditionally, the lighter club works for you. And if you're in that R-Flex and you're truly not loading up the club, you may consider going just a hair lower. That's another thing, but that's a trick without seeing you. Obviously at a 1.3, you're either one heck of a ball striker or you got serious course management skills or both. And normally it's both, by the way. But I would think that if you're doing what you're doing, if you're looking for feel, I might just add maybe a strip or two of lead tape on the head and just see what happens there before going to a heavier shaft. He likes to shop for necessities, or unnecessities for that matter, Kent. Dave is saying Merry Christmas to everybody. Well done, sir. Cheese whiz rice. I need to get back into club repair. It's been a lot of fun this year, I have to say. Chris Cochran from Cedar Rapids. Nice. And he knows because I did time in Cedar Rapids just before coming here. Yeah, you guys, what? I don't think you got snow yet, but I bet it's gotten a bit cold when you get a little bit of that wind. Are they big with Chris? Are they big with the simulators there? Since you got a kind of an extended winter time frame. I don't think most people can tell two swing weights. Nice video on the Vokies. No, and as a whole, it's been studied, Danny, that most people right around 3 swing weights is when they start to feel things. The guy I made him for, he actually responded there and he said he liked the total weight, which is when you're doing a good fitting, a guy will concentrate a lot on total weight more than swing weight. There is something to be said for both. However, I'm in the school of total weight versus swing weight. And that's because that allows you to get more feel into the club. Put it that way. Stan, what's going on? Merry Christmas to you, sir. De Leon Springs, Florida. That's a heck of a name right there. De Leon Springs. I wonder where is that one at? Kent, you're giving away trade secrets here, man. You're giving away trade secrets. You got to stop. Mr. Paul, how are you, sir? Merry Christmas to you too. 2022 is going to be much better. Well, I can only hope so. For you, it should be, based on the fact that you're probably healed up by now, right? And you can get out there and get it done. I know, right? I was so Charles, the flag that was up there was so bad that leaving the wrinkles in there, it was just required. Honestly, it was bad. It was tattered. The blue was not. It was starting to go from gray to white. I mean, it was awful. My son got it for me for Christmas many moons ago, and it was a quality flag. And I hated getting rid of it, but it just, I mean, nothing stands the test of time outdoors. Matt says, let's bring some clarity. I'm with that. I'm all about that. Let's do that. Not a golfer. Howdy, fan from Georgia. There, been a while since I've been home to watch live. Well, good for you, bud. And in Georgia, thank you for watching. There's Larry Oppenhusen. When are you going to do an iron fitting with tapered shafts and parallel heads? Do you shim? Also, do you compensate for the weight of the shaft fitting adapter? Thank you, sir. Have a great Christmas. So, Larry, knowing full well what I'm getting ready to do for you, in taper tip shafts, the adapters that I have will take account for taper tip, okay? Man, this is really, how do I get this to work a little bit better? That's not going to do it. There we go. How is that? A little bit better. All right, so the taper tip shafts, I've got plenty. I've got handfuls of them, and my connector eats up that piece, so it goes in on the inside because the outside diameter is the same as it goes into the hosel. Okay. On the club connects, no. Now, what you can do in order to take up for some of that is you can either do one, and I've done in the past, I haven't done it in a while. They have those brass shims, and you can virtually glue it to it and then kind of sand it out, or just leave it, right? Or just leave it, because on the Club Connect, the connector itself is extraordinarily substantial, and it doesn't rattle around, so you should be good there. Now, do I compensate for the weight of the shaft fitting adapter? Well, what I do is I tend to understand that it's going to be a little bit heavier, and when they're swinging it, and we talk about, do you feel the club head weight? Does that feel right? And if they can't sense it, then I don't worry about it so much, because what's going to happen is when we take out that quarter of an inch and quarter of an inch, the hosel adapter weight will be fine. It'll take that part of it out. It's the other piece, and you're talking about 2 to 3 swing weight points. So again, in that realm of okay. Darren, I have to swing a bit too hard, make my now steel shaft mushy on the face. Most of my misses are right or pushes with the 300 stiff. They have good control but feel quite rigid. All right, let me go back up here. Okay, so if you're so Darren, what I would be looking at is, if you're 300S is very good shaft to be sure. It's very common, very out there. Two things I would be looking at. All right, two things. Number one, I'd make sure you have the right length of golf club. All right, that would help you bring it around. The other one is, even if you're swinging hard, unless you're just coming completely unglued and totally overranging it, you are not leaving the club face open unless you're holding on to it on purpose. The flex of the club, it's not happening. It's unless you have some like 120 mile an hour swing speed with the iron. It's not happening. So if you like that S300 feel, a couple of things you could do. You could soft step it about 2 pieces, and that would probably be the best way to go about it. Or if you really like, if you're swinging hard enough, if you're truly swinging hard enough to be in the stiff range, then I would go lighter. And if you like the DGs, they make a 110 or even a 105, and I would try that first, because the slightly light will actually allow you to come through versus the other way. All righty. Tiger was smashing new TaylorMade stealth driver in this past weekend. Yeah, that made some. It was funny. It was, the timing was everything, right? Because they had to. He's putting it in the bag. They had to put it out there, and people were discovering it in the where they put it for legality, so nobody can copy them. That kind of thing. We'll have to get Robin to do it. Charles, ironing is. Oh, can't. Come on now. You're going to get me in trouble. All righty. Right there. And I do. I truly do iron more than her. Work clothes kind of thing. Yeah, yes, I can. Oh my goodness gracious. Darren, what's the best way to mute a driver head? Well, in some cases there's more than a couple, but uh, some folks that put that spray in stuff for that does insulation. Don't do that. All right. Some people have put in cotton balls. Don't do that. There is some stuff, it depends on what you need for muted, right? I've seen guys put in rattle stop glue and not a whole bunch of it, and that's helped. They've put in a rubber stopper at the bottom of the shaft into the hosel, and that's helped. Those are the two biggest ways. If I had to say anything, uh, well, what would I do? I've heard the cotton. I might give the cotton ball thing a shot, but keep in mind, once it goes in, it's most likely never coming back out. John M. Blake, how you doing, sir? Cold, wet, and windy in Myrtle Beach this week. Now, if you're living in Myrtle Beach and that's what you got this week, I'm sure the other 51 weeks out of the year weren't too bad. Or if you're golfing down there, that's not a lot of fun. All right. Yeah. There's depending on the driver as well. I would just try a little bit of, I don't know. I don't want to spray anything in there that's going to absorb it because it get bad in a hurry. I might, there's again, as much as I don't like the cotton, that might be part of it. And I wouldn't shove a whole bunch in there. You just might be a cotton ball or two or three. You're right there, sir. Hot melt, that's what I was just telling you. You just don't want to put too much in there. Darren, how high in the frequency chart from R to X flex can you match a set of R flex shafts? How far up the CPMs can you get on average? I'm not quite certain what you're asking, Darren. However, what I will say is that the R and the S ranges are the same width, right? They're about, what are they about? 1, 2, 3, 4, about 10 CPMs in frequency. Okay. So if you get 10 CPMs in frequency, obviously 5 is in the middle, and then you can just, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. And then you get it to the top, and then it starts into the S, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. That's what I would look at. And it depends. Can you frequency match? Yeah, as long as you have all the same and parallel tips, so you can trim, or if you have enough taper tip shafts so you can do testing or soft or hard step as required, then yeah, you can probably get really, really, really close. However, not a lot of us do that. But yeah, you can, the R Flex, and I've built stuff at like 4.75 for 3/4 of the way into the R Flex range. I've built stuff at the bottom end like a 4.25, and same for the stiff. I don't try and shoot for the middle. I try to shoot for the golfer. And what we do is we try and figure out what one of their goals are going to be. Are they going to get stronger and faster? Is it a younger golfer who will get stronger and faster? Is it an older golfer whose swing speed will start declining? And we'll build that set into that, because we're going to be about a half of a flex off, and it's not going to be a game killer or a game changer per se, but as you reach that particular plateau that we're talking about, it will certainly feel better at that time frame. Cheese was race. I want to get a 45.5-inch shaft for my Rogue Sub-Zero. I have a Project X at 45.5 that I don't use. Should I tip it? And should I trim it from the tip and the butt? if you like the flex that it's in, cheese. If you like it, no, just trim it from the butt and call it even because the flex will be the same. Al, what do you say, sir? Safe and Merry Christmas and a New Year to you as well. Okay, and to you as well. Okay. So, Type R, what's going on? It's been a while, buddy. What's going on? Hello, Mr. Golf. Been a minute. Hope all is well. Work kept me busy. A few weeks off for Christmas, though. I need a nap. I know, right? I'm starting to get this whole, hey, I got some days off kind of thing going on. Where do we go? Not bad. Not bad at all. How many wraps to build a standard grip to mid-size? Is that a better option than trying to have the least amount of swing weight effect? Actually, it's not, there's really not a dramatic change, but if you're going from standard to mid-size, depending on the tape you use, it's between 2 and 3 extra wraps. Becomes very preferential at that time. I tend to use brown tape, which is thicker than the standard double-sided tape, so I only have to use 2, and then the grip tape. Whereas if you're using grip tape, you'd probably have to use 3, then the grip tape again, so 4. All right, so keep that in mind. All righty. Doc, what is going on? Is it the knee? I think I saw that, buddy. Are you doing all right? I seen where you're at. That's not too bad. There you go, dude. There you go, right? We're on the same page, brother. And I knew we are. There's a lot we have in common, man. Nice hearing from you. Nice hearing from you. Good job, dude. I'm pretty sure you were showing us the knee, right? And I hope everything's okay. John M. Blake, MC Nightly News didn't mention John Daly. That was just disrespectful. And again, I agree, right? I agree. I think that you ought to give the winner his due. Whether you're going to talk to him for 5 minutes, 1 minute, or whatever, but give the winner his due and then jump into the stuff that moves the needle. But give the winner his due. That's all I'm saying, right? And that happens a lot. Tiger is a very popular, very, very popular person. And I get it. He is he will go down in history as one of the greatest golfers on the planet. I get it. But the guy wins, beats Tiger, whatever, does very, very well. Let's give the man his due. I mean, I can remember when they were talking about guy goes out and wins a golf tournament by a fantastic number, and there was more coverage of this dude walking without a knee brace than the guy winning. I mean, really? There's got to be a little substance there. Jason, what's going on? Love the tournament. Totally agree about the coverage. New wedges. Yep. Jason showed up and he also picked up some wedges as well. And the denims and with some Acra shafts in them. Very nice. I was trying to see if we could get him into some red grips because they had green labels on them. It would have been like the perfect Christmas coloring for wedges. Everyone in here is so polite. Are we sure we're not all Canadian? Dude, we have a pretty good time about it. Kent does it. Ken keeps us in check. We do all pretty good. Not too bad. There's Kent. Kent, send us your email, would you? If you would, send us your email. I got a question for you. Yeah, I'd have to agree, Cheese. He looked like he was in. It looked like he was in a little bit of pain, and it was a good thing that he had a cart, and I'm glad that they accommodated for that. And but as far as getting out there and being competitive, I think he's got a little bit yet to go. I don't think, if I saw something correctly, I don't think he's going to petition for a cart. All right, I gotta get this thing. Bam. We're gonna get rid of that person. Yeah. So did I. I think we all did. There's Mrs. McGolf talking to Larry. Steven, what's going on? Happy holidays to you too, sir. Man, we all got him. I bet that guy, I wonder if that hurt getting blocked that hard so quick. It's in the little right-hand corner of your thing. It gives you a chance to do that. Oh, Charles, send us your address again. I think Robin's got it, but I want to make sure. Send it to us if you don't mind. Patrick, the all-fit drill bit. Maybe I said wrong size, but it was the size from them. Yeah, that one that they send is actually surprisingly good. I've ordered 2 sets from them, so I got 2 drill bits. And the first one survived all the ones that I had to do that are back here. But again, like I said, it was soft metal. But it was cleaning them up. I'm not a fan of using those. Like I said, I'm more of a reamer kind of guy. And I bought one just in case. And then it turns out that, because he said 11, you're right. He said like 11.2, and I ended up getting one. And then he turned around. I said, it seems a little bit big. And he changed his mind to like a 10.5. And what he sent you is proper. All right. And those things, and no, what I have found, Patrick, is, again, the metal that I remove is equivalent to both of the pieces together, so I don't see the swing weight getting too light. Mark Malakowski, how are you, sir? Have Merry Christmas to you from Clark Summit, PA. Nice. Have to get to sleep. Wonder what's your pin on shaft puring. I believe shaft puring has a place, Mark. I really, really do. And as I've called it in the past, it is the digital version of the analog of spining and flowing. All right. When they do a puring, it is very precise of where the best piece is on that golf shaft. The second part to the puring process is installing it in the way that you want it installed, which is flowing. Okay. And when you put that, so when we pure it, it gives us an approximate area, the analog version. And then when you flow it, that gets you dead on. So I get flowed shafts from people every once in a while, and I will still flow them. And it's funny, some of them are at 12 o'clock and some of them are at 3 o'clock. So you have to be very, very careful. There we go. P. Flynn, hello. Have T200 irons with the PXLZ shaft. Added mid-size MCC grips. Need D4 swing weight, but the overall weight would end up 306 grams to overall. Or is it just subjective? It is very subjective, P. Flynn. It is very subjective. The fact that you put on the heavy grips are a fact that the swing weight gets on. Like we talked before, it's just nothing more than a trick on a teeter-totter, right? Yes, you can make it get back to where you're level. You know, you're sitting here and you're at D4 and you put on the weight, and now all of a sudden it's light, right? Now, can you add weight to make it go back? Yeah, but why? Because you just made the total weight bad. And when you're talking about the LZs, they're light for a reason, okay? And you're overranging that for its thing. I would say put them on there and put them on there and try them and see if your control's still there. There you go. There's this sis. How you doing, kiddo? She'll be down in a few weeks. Wait until you guys see what we got on the menu. There's Krister. Heavy snow in Sweden. There's a shock. Well, hopefully you're doing okay. Apparently you're not going to get a lot of running there. And Krister, please send me your email address as well, if you don't mind. Yep, we were always wondering, making sure the shoulder's okay. John, hello, Robin. I want a new shaft for Man Ford driver. It's a 5.5 flex. It's too cold to try, but looking forward to trying it. A 5.5, depending on who's making it, that's not too bad. And depending on whatever your flex chart is, should be okay. Free's never been a problem. Joey Manning, how are you, sir? And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you as well. Krister says that the shoulder is good, and that's good to hear. It was that marathon running that did it, I'm sure. Paul Bagnall, what do you say, Paul? Greetings from Cleveland. 5 days out of CMC thumb shirt. Ooh, seen the months on the bench. Yeehaw. Well, bud, hopefully that gets better, right? We all want to see. And, for surgery, for being a golfer, now is that particular time. I don't know if you guys can see that. That big old scar. That was a table saw accident. That took a while to heal up. I get you, man. Well, keep us informed. If you're coming back, keep us informed on how the healing's going on, and we'd like to see what's going on when you get out there. Patrick Barman, what do you say, bud? Happy holidays to you too. Jim, how do you determine what driver loft someone should be playing? Well, not to sound like a turd, Patrick, but it's through a fitting. Okay. Number one, we find the right length first, and then because I'm looking, what I concentrate on is the quality of the hit. All right, the smash factor. Finding the middle of that club face is paramount for me, because a lot of ills can be cured by finding the middle of the face. And that's done through the right length, the right weight, and the right look. Okay. And how you load and unload. There's a lot that goes into it. However, when you impact the ball, my flight scope picks up the loft that you're hitting at. And after a few hits, it will also have an optimizer. It says, okay, I need to hit it higher, lower, spin it less, more, and that kind of thing. So knowing those two other parameters, once we've zeroed in on the other ones, then I know what I need to do. Now, another thing that a lot of people overlook, and I will say it, I'll share it with you here, is that if you're hitting the ball well and you just hit it higher, lower, whatever, you try tee height. A 1/4 inch change in tee height can be a dramatic impact on launch angle, and for a 1/4 of an inch, right? It's a big, big, big deal. So you want to try that. Garoos, what do you say, buddy? Hello, and thank you for all your time and efforts. Have a great Christmas and stay well. You too. You too. Jason is looking forward to seeing the patina on the wedges. Nothing like the mojo of a good patina. I'm serious, bud. I am serious. Apron, there you go. Black with white lettering. I have a one-off. It's going to look like that, only it's going to be white. John, near Myrtle Beach, cold rain for the next 2 days. Ooh, you're kind of getting the weather we've got, bud. We're 45 today. It's supposed to be 46. Danny wants a dozen ERC triple track golf balls. That's not a bad golf ball, Danny. Not a bad one at all. How does a swing weight heavier in irons affect the swing? I feel I get a better tempo when I feel the club head more. And that's because your swing, and I've seen it now that I've seen a little bit more, you're a little more aggressive and you don't have a lot of wrist hinge, right? You come at it and you get pretty quick with the turn. So heavier works for you, right? Heavier works for you, and it always has, right? Every time that we talk about shaft changes, something just slightly heavier works for you. And that's just the way that you swing. Nick Price, he's another one that's just like that kind of stuff. Those are the guys that that like that heavier type shaft. Now, guys that are smoother, say Darren, the guys that are a little smoother, they could go the other way and have that same exact head feel. And so you can feel it back here. Now, in a lot of cases, when you're talking about heavier, it's not necessarily, although you're feeling the head weight, what it is, it's sitting in your hands. It's sitting right here. So when you bring it back, you're like, oh, there it is. There's my hand. And then you can bring it back through. McNee. Left Cobra clubs. All right. Well, you never know. If I do a course review, I very well may do that. There's another one. Arnie Sanchez. Here's a new one. And Semper Fi, bud. Not bad. Like that. Like the logo. Would be going up 2 degrees and have over standard make a set of Mizunos the same as a Titleist 200 as far as length and lie. I don't know what the Titleist 200 standard is, to be honest with you. All right. Mizuno is a little flatter, but not a bunch. I would say as a whole about a half a degree flat than standard, and I go off of the 64-degree lie angle for wedges and 9 irons, that type of stuff. They typically stay around 63.5 in the Mizunos. So you could go up, and we'll say I've never known Titleist to go crazy upright, and because that would mean that they would be, assuming that we know what Mizuno is, right? That would mean they're in the 65, 66. I don't see that happening. So you might be able to, and they also start at there on the quarter. Mizuno, you're right. Oh, pardon me. Mizuno is on the quarters and the 3/4, but when you because what they want to do is when you put the grip on, it's actually at that length. Where Titleist, I believe, cuts at the length, and you put the grip on, it gives it that 1/4 inch longer. Okay, is that a big deal? Not necessarily so. However, if you're looking to match the T200s, I wouldn't necessarily go up 2 degrees, but I have to see what the spec is because Mizuno's not that far off. They're just a tad flatter. McNay, you got to pay for that kind of info, guys. John, Merry Christmas. Hit them straight and long. May your scores go low. There you go, sir. How are you? Thank you very much. Seymour 3, we should give thanks to taking the time to post these videos and teaching us because you and Mr. McGolf, I was able to epoxy my own epoxy. Shaft adapter with my Epic Flash. Well, good. I've always said the longer we can keep folks in golf, whether you're swinging or repairing, it's all good. And I'm sure GolfWorks likes me doing the same thing. Here's a new one. Matt Cleve. Do you like stepping the wedges a 1/4 inch or stay the same length for the last? Matt, that's a heck of a question, to be honest with you. In the day, when I first started out, I used to keep them the same length with the idea that the head weights were heavier, so i.e. the swing weights would get progressively heavier as you went from the 50 to the 50 or the 46 to the 58. With the idea that you're getting under the club, right? You're getting under the ball in order to get through it. Okay. Okay.
It showed that I wrote them all down.
I'm gonna put Kent in there though.
Huh?
Kent. All right, I got him. All righty, sir. So, but now I'm sorry, Miss McGolf came in here with some names.
You need to give them the email address.
Yep. Okay. So, but now I do. I make them 1/4 inch short. and the idea with the keeping the swing weight the same because they are typically heavier. Why did I change? More from a control instinct than anything else, but that's the only reason why. And a lot of it depended on the person too. If somebody was very aggressive, I'd probably keep them the same length. If they're smoother, I would probably trim them down 1/4 of an inch. No, I wouldn't go nearly the swing weight and flex are mutually exclusive, Krister. The you can have heavier and still be in the same flex that you like, because we found that in certain clubs for you, particularly certain clubs that you like that MMT that you were talking about, right? That one plays stiffer than advertised. So that's where you were at. So that was a good fit. I think that was a really good fit. And by adding a little bit, you're only talking fractions of flex. So I wouldn't necessarily sweat that. Well, thank you, Stan. I appreciate that. I was wondering how that was going to be received. To be honest with you, I'm into week 5 now. You're going to see 4 posted, and we're going to have Dr. Guidry on there with that one to kind of give you an idea of who's talking to me when we do this. And in week 5, I'm not here to about, yes, it would be a lot of fun to hit a 300-yard drive. Yes, it would be fun to, do the oh, hit the ball just crazy distance. It would be really neat to do that. However, the idea is to hit it within a level of control. And as I'm seeing, where I'm swinging right now, I can get it out there. Am I going to be, is it tour level stuff? No, it's not. But it's good enough that I can still stand with a handful of guys and get out there fairly respectfully. But even more fitness means a little more distance, but I'm really looking for that control. And it doesn't hurt to get into a size smaller pants, right? That's always a plus as well. But I'm really, really looking for, because I hit a new distance record at week 5 with my irons, and actually hit one with the driver pretty decent, but one doesn't count. I'm looking for a series of 5. But thank you on that. It's really kind of fun to see what's happening here. That you don't need to be in the gym 40, an hour and a half in order to make this go. Now, I would imagine as my fitness level goes up, a higher commitment might be needed, but we'll see. Krister, Merry Christmas to you, sir. Fountain of Youth. I know exactly where that's at. We were there. In fact, yeah. I should have DeLeon. Yeah. Okay. We actually there. I actually drank from the Fountain of Youth garden hose. Okay. So, Mrs. McGolf picked some names, and as far from what our interactions today. So, Patrick Z. So here's my clubmaker@mcgolf.net. Clubmaker@mcgolf.net or mcgolfshop@roadrunner.com. Send me your email. Patrick Z, Cheese Whiz, John Blake, Mr. Bartholomew, Stephen Lynn, Mark Malakowski, Mark Downing, Kent, and Krister. You guys send me your emails. I'm going to send you a little present. All right. Yep. Dr. Griffin. So happy holidays to you too. All righty. We're getting down here. Robin's talking to a lot of people.
Name off 10.
I think I did. And if not, McNay, if you're still listening, bud, send us thing. Oh, I didn't get that one. Everything else I think I did okay with. Mark Dunning, how are you from Illinois? Very good, sir. P. Goen, what do you think about jumbo grips? Been wild with my driver looking for anything to get in control. If they fit, bud, if they fit. Jumbo grips are grand as long as you don't go crazy. If you've been wild with your driver, a couple of things. Number one is your flex may be completely wrong, either too flexible or not flexible enough. The other one is the length. Okay. Choke down about a half of an inch or three-quarters of an inch and see what happens. And then start considering the bigger grip. Now, if you got really big paws, like you wear an extra large or extra large glove, then yeah, a bigger grip is probably warranted. If you're doing a 10-fingered grip, yeah, it's probably warranted anyway, right? And that certainly will help. There's David. What do you say, buddy? Merry Christmas to you too. What's on my Christmas with a golf theme? What is my Christmas? I'm actually asking to Mike Malaska has a thing that you can join, and a year-long membership into that, so I can ask him a bunch of questions about golf swings, so I can help myself and also help when I fit. That's probably my number one. My number two is the Chrome Soft XLS golf ball. I generate so much spin, it's stupid, and the LS ball really helps. Those are my two biggest golf ones, and then the last but not least is a golf vacation. We're holding it back. We were just talking about it today, as a matter of fact, when all this COVID thing settles down and we don't have to wear a mask wherever we go. We want to get back to the UK. We want to go to Scotland, Ireland, and do another trip, Northern Ireland, Scotland kind of thing, because we did the southern part, and go through there and hit some golf courses, see some historic sites, that kind of stuff. All right. David, taking, for example, a driving iron with an adjustable hosel, can you bend the hosel if the line angle from the adjustable hosel doesn't give you enough lie? No, you can't. And the reason being is it's in the head, right? Normally what you've got is you don't have enough to bend. Okay, that's really where it's at, because it's in the adjustable hosel area, and you're going to try and bend the body now instead of just the hosel itself. I've quite never seen it done, to be honest with you, and you run a really, really, really high risk of breakage. All right, love this stuff. Great content. Well, thank you, sir. Love a D4 swing weight and irons, but adding an MC means that I have to add quite a bit. Yes, you would. Almost, well, depending on you're talking about 4 on the back, you're talking about 10 to 12 grams, and that's far too much. Kurt Lee Master, it's been a while. Merry Christmas to you too. Rehab is going well. All right. So do we carry? Yes, we do. We do carry Jumbo Max. There's Duke. What do you say, sir? And you do the same. Chuck Crenshaw. Tiger said he would never use a cart. That's what I thought he said. I thought I read that. And, and where he's at in his game, it's number one, it's probably pride. And number two, it's just what he's used to. Because, let's face it, walking helps you wear out, get your mind right before you get to the next shot. All right. Talk about the Wilson Staff blades. What are your thoughts? Well. Just so happens I have one. Bam. This is a really nice blade. I had a guy in here today that was hitting the Mizuno blade and the other ones, and I turned him on to the CB, and it was a real change to get people involved in this. So anyway, the blade, there you go. That's a pretty good one. Blades, like any other blade, doesn't matter who makes them. They're going to be really penal when you get off of the very, very center of this shaft, or if you're not like right there, it's going to be hard to hit. And if you look at this, he's got there's a lot of weight on the toe, so you don't overcook it when you throw one through. It's got a very thin top line, and extraordinarily traditional lofts is very, very weak. Can you bend them and get them there? Yes, you can. But if you look, that's not a whole lot of sole. All right. So you have a real opportunity to turn it into a digger if you go too much. Beautiful club, like most blades are. And it hits very well, just like all the forged clubs do. It hits very well. Just it's going to be the shortest iron and the one that you'll know exactly where you hit it on the face based on feedback. But the quality of the forging, the quality of the build, top notch. Top notch. There's Brendan. How are you, sir? Glad to see you making on there. I know it's late for you guys. What if you don't have a fitter for 400 miles? Hoo-wee! Nick, that unfortunately, that's a toughie. As much as I really, really don't like doing those, I have done them because there's just too much. There's too much variable. All right, because I have to listen to. I have to take a lot of the golfers' input as gospel, and unfortunately, us as golfers, we feel a lot, but what we feel and what's real are normally two different things. But I can get, most of these guys that are pretty good can get pretty close. I would get on the horn with somebody that you trust, tell them what and just get into a conversation of what it is you have, what it is you're trying to do, figure out your certain misses, those kinds of things, and the way that you hit golf balls, and just kind of get close and see. And there might be a couple of talking sessions before you can get it, so you can do it over the phone. Those things that you get on the internet and you say, oh, what's your hand to wrist and wrist to floor, and or you do this, you do that. I don't put too much stock in those, but I would much rather communicate with somebody that at least can ask you some critically correct questions. Chuck just got some tools to build some clubs, and your channel has been the most informative of me by far. Well, thank you, sir. Still have some trial and error, but it's a fun process. Thank you for the videos. Well, you're welcome, sir. I'm telling you, this stuff gets under your skin, man, so be careful. And if nothing else, do training. If you can get to one of those classes at GolfWorks, more power to you. Russell Seward, well, how you doing, bud? Sent you shafts and heads today. I'll be sure to get turn out great as the others you did for me a few years ago. Well, good.
It's 6:43. Did you remember your mate?
No, I did not, but they're probably ready to come off. Should I say that? Do you want me to say that?
No, I do not.
You're getting red on it.
Huh?
You're getting red.
I know. You can still make me red.
Uh-huh. All righty. Yeah, there's probably time to come off. So what happened is I put some country style ribs on the smoker, and they were a few 20 degrees off. So they're probably ready right about now. Robin's just now remembering it. Brian, how are you, sir? Merry Christmas to you. Would you say that Ralph Maltby's playability factor for heads and shafts are dependable? Yes, I would. It gets you into at least into a category, right? Of course, everybody's going to argue one way or another, but he uses he uses blade length, height, center of gravity, offsets, weight, the height of the hosel. He does a very, very good job of getting these parameters, and then there she goes. She's going to go get our dinner. And putting them together to come up with a category, right? So bigger, and it tends to track big heads, lots of cavity, very deep, lots of offset, super game improvement. And the number's very, very high. Game improvement, a little bit less offset to an extent, or smaller blade lengths, thinner cavities, those kind of things. There's a lot of measuring that goes on. So yeah, I do believe that it is very, very close. Matt's going to be upset Browns are playing. Quadrator, opinion on steel graphite for irons and wedges. Quad rider, I think it doesn't really matter as long as it fits. A lot of people are, the only time that I ever get kind of nervous about a shaft selection, i.e., graphite into an iron, is when the guy's chopping wood and he's taking a divot the size of New Mexico. Okay. Outside of that, it's all good. And to the point, there are probably a 5-to-1 option ratio of graphite to steel, and from counterbalancing to flex profiles to weight, and they're very much they can be a much better choice, right? You're seeing them on tour in the form of steel fiber, so I really don't see the bad in graphite. The irons or the steel is very, very dependable. Uh, and now I don't know what they've found in order to make these things happen. I think it's an annealing process, to be honest, so that they can go from standard with a 125, 130 to that 105 or 110. There's 115s in there in some cases, 95s, and that's about it. Now, the Nippon has some 75 and 85 grams, but it's a much, much smaller crowd that they will fit into. Okay. Much, much smaller crowd. Christmas Eve looks nice weather. Course is closed to the public, not employees. Joe, Christmas golf. That's saying something. I'd be taking some pictures there, bud. Past my prime. Got here late. Just wanted to wish you both a Merry Christmas. And so you too, partner. You too. Oh, you must be home. You didn't go anywhere. Alrighty, guys. I'm about 25 minutes over. But it's I got a vacation week, so we got time. Longest a driver shaft should be what? If I'm 5'11", golf shoes, love X stiff but predictable bullet stingers, cuts, offers excellent control. So 5'11", and let's just say if you don't swing extraordinarily flat, chances are you're probably in that 40, and again, it's arm length as well as arm span, but somewhere in that 44 and a half range, I would think would work really, really well. All right. I would think that would work really, really well. Dan, best place to buy ferrules. If you're just looking for standard ferrules, there's two places. Golfworks is number one. Billy Bob's is the other. Billy Bob's is probably going to have more specialty ferrules, right? Those are the two that have the biggest selection. If you are looking for a specialty ferrule or something more customizable, it's a company called BB&F, and they make long and short ferrules, colors, rings, you name it, all kinds of really neat stuff. Limited supplies, limited numbers, but you can get what you're looking for. But as far as holes, if you're looking for multiple types of builds and repairs, then Golfworks or Billy Bob's. Arnie, you're more than welcome, sir, and thanks for the service. Hoorah. Danny, think about trying Jumbo Max on my driver. Where is the best place to buy them? I don't see them in the Golfworks catalog. Actually, Danny, directly from Jumbo Max. I mean, honestly, just right from them. That's how we got them. I just go right onto their website and order them right from them. All righty, guys. I got about 3 more, and then we're done. We'll get my new MMXX. Yeah. Woo-wee. Well, 45 and 3/4. That goes with. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. Type R, thank you, sir. You too. Have a good holiday. There's my cuz. We say cuz. And thank you. Merry Christmas to you guys. Hope you guys are doing good. Be safe. Uh-oh, I saw this one. Broken foot. Oh, come on, man. 6 weeks. Well, I don't know, 6 weeks. You by the time the warm weather shoots, you'll be ready to rock and roll. Yeah, rapid taper. The one that I hit, I liked. Did it do what it said? Not necessarily, but it was a neat little shaft, and it was worth the try for certain. The wedge shaft said it adds so many RPMs. It didn't, but did it feel good? Yeah, it felt pretty good. And I hate to see that they didn't work out for you. Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. Oh, here's a new one. Sean Grinstead, what's up? This is of the new Mizuno's. How does their forgiveness compare to, say, the Ping I-10 or 425? All right, the new Mizunos. We're talking 221, 223, 225. All right. 221's a blade, not forgiving. All right. 223 is it's a player's cavity back. So it's a smaller cavity with a small, we'll call it a muscle in the back. Just this much more offset. So it's just slightly more forgiving than the blade. I think we don't give it enough credit. If you're a good ball striker, you can certainly handle it. The 225, on the other hand, is a hollow-bodied iron with a little more offset, a little stronger loft, a little bit bigger at appearance, much easier to hit. So of all of them, the 5 is the most forgiving. Now, of the 921s, obviously, it's the hot metal because it's bigger, more offset, that kind of stuff. In relationship to the 210, I would say it's comparable right in time with the 223. And the 225 just slightly more so. All right. Robert M., how are you, sir? New subscriber, love the channel, South Carolina. Yes, you can. And thank you for subscribing. Thank you so very much. There you go. There you go. Here, Stan. No problem, buddy. Why does no one make zero offset irons except for Aris? Well, because honestly, Krister, the zero offset irons is just something that you need just a hair, and that's just to help them out. It's that thing is gone. That thing is just those days of that stuff are gone. And the reason why they were zero offset before is because they didn't know how to put offset into the club at the time. It was just a function of their technical capability. All righty. Okay. Big fan. Tom with Sean Prox. I know he sold. Do you know who to whom? Yeah, it's a company in the UK. I think they're called Diamond Golf. Very good bunch of guys. They're very, very, very reliable, very straightforward, good bunch of folks. And it's like we're always hit the thumbs up. All right, I got to the bottom, guys. I said I was going to go a little further. This is a record, a Christmas record. Got to 653. We hit the end. Thank you very much. You guys that Robin gave me the notes for, send us your email, and we'll send you a little Christmas present down there. And hopefully, you guys have a very, very, very good Christmas. Happy New Year, but we'll talk before then for sure. Hopefully everything's under the tree. Everybody stays safe, and let's keep the less fortunate in mind. And as always, guys, let's see the scores go low.